This is the brief on AI Decoded. Think of this weekly show as your very own universal translator, taking all that intimidating tech speak and turning it into practical, everyday language for folks without a technical background. First, we need to look at who this is actually for, because their core mission is to make artificial intelligence finally click for non-technical users. Since we aren't all programmers, the show acts as a strict filter for information, which really makes you wonder, if AI systems are so profoundly complex, how accessible can they genuinely be for an absolute beginner? Well, second, we see how the two hosts answer that by aggressively filtering the noise, separating what's actually useful.
If you were building a professional brand, especially in a high-stakes field like, real estate, are you actually visible to your future clients, or are you just sort of a digital ghost?
Yeah, it's a harsh question, but in today's landscape, it's an entirely necessary one to confront.
Because you could be like the absolute best at what you do. You could have encyclopedic market knowledge, ruthless negotiation skills, a totally flawless track record.
Oh, absolutely.
But if a potential client searches for you online and just finds this deserted profile with a pixelated logo from 2014 to them, you do not exist.
Right, you're invisible.
Exactly.
Yep.
So today we are doing a deep dive into the default social media playbook, the one that is making professionals invisible. And we're going to replace it with this highly tactical, AI-driven formula designed to manufacture that know, like, and trust factor at scale.
And we're specifically looking at a breakdown of digital marketing and artificial intelligence for real estate agents today. But, I mean, the mechanics we're about to explore, they apply to almost any industry.
Yeah, that is the core mission for this deep dive. We're going to decode why most professionals get social media entirely wrong. We'll break down the exact content formula to fix it.
And we'll get into how using AI, specifically Claude, completely eliminates the biggest roadblock, which is just staying consistent.
Right. So whether you are a real estate agent, a financial planner, an entrepreneur, whatever, understanding how to communicate your value without burning out is just an absolute masterclass in modern communication.
But to get to that solution, we kind of first have to diagnose the failure, right? We have to look at the fundamental error that professionals make the exact second they open their social media apps.
Okay, let's start right there. The default approach is just failing spectacularly. Why is that?
Well, the days of relying on, like, a smiling photo on a bus stop bench or sending out a direct mail flyer, those are totally dead. We have seen this massive shift in consumer behavior over the last decade or so.
People do their homework now.
Exactly. Today, a buyer or seller's very first step is online research. Long before they ever pick up a phone or send an email, they are lurking.
Just creeping on your profile.
Scrolling through profiles, reading captions, and really trying to get a psychological feel for who someone is. And if an agent isn't showing up in those digital spaces, they're basically disqualified before the race even begins.
Wow. Yeah.
But the real fatal flaw is how the agents who actually are online behave. They tend to treat social media like a classified ads section.
Oh, man. It is just an endless, monotonous sea of just listed and sold property photos.
Right. They use it strictly as a digital bulletin board. And, I mean, while showcasing inventory has a small place, relying on it entirely means you are broadcasting at an audience, not connecting with them.
Classified ads do not build human relationships.
No, they don't.
So what does this all mean? Treating your Instagram feed like a classified ad section is basically like walking up to a total stranger at a dinner party and just aggressively shouting your resume at them. You're just standing by the appetizer table yelling, "I closed 3 deals this week. Look at this kitchen island."
That captures exactly how jarring it feels to the consumer. It really does.
It's a pure broadcast. It completely fails to build that marketing trinity of know, like, and trust.
And that trinity is the entire foundation of the service industry. People hire people they know, like, and trust. Social media's true superpower, the thing a billboard literally can never replicate, is letting people feel like they know you deeply before they ever even dial your number.
It operates as a relationship-building machine.
Exactly. And here's the crucial shift in perspective. This machine is specifically designed for people who are, say, 6 to 18 months away from actually making a transaction.
Wait, really? That completely flips the script. You're not hunting for the person who needs to buy a house tomorrow.
No, you are cultivating the person who might buy a house next year. When you only post your current listings, you're only speaking to the tiny, microscopic fraction of the market ready to sign a contract today.
Which is almost nobody.
Right. But when you build a relationship with the people who are a year out, you capture the whole pipeline. When they finally are ready, they don't go on Google to search for an agent.
They just reach out to you.
Yeah, they reach out to the person they have been learning from for the past 12 months. It becomes this automatic recall.
Okay, let's unpack this. If we know shouting about listings at the dinner party is a guaranteed way to clear the room, what should someone actually post?
Right, the million-dollar question.
The source material outlines a very specific structural solution here. It's called the 50-30-20 rule. Let's break this down. It says 50% of your content should be educational.
Yeah, and this forms the bedrock of your brand. And to be clear, educational content isn't dry, academic textbook material.
Right, nobody wants to read a textbook on Instagram.
Exactly. This is taking your daily expertise and translating it for a beginner. It means breaking down local market trends in just plain English. Or, explaining what a contingency actually means.
Like defining it simply as the "I can back out of this contract if the roof is caving in" clause.
Yes, perfect example. Or teaching someone how to read a terrifying 50-page home inspection report without completely panicking. This positions you as the competent authority.
And people probably share that stuff, right?
Or absolutely. Educational content has the highest likelihood of being shared. People love sending useful, demystifying information to their friends who are thinking about moving.
Okay, so then moving down the formula, 30% of the content should be trust content.
Yeah, this is where you become a three-dimensional human being. Trust content includes testimonials, sure, but more importantly, it is the behind-the-scenes reality of your job.
Like the messy stuff.
Exactly. It's sharing a story about a complicated deal that almost fell apart at the last minute, and then explaining the specific steps you took to save it. It shows your actual personality, your problem-solving skills, your work ethic.
Because you could be the most analytically qualified agent in your entire city.
Right.
But if people do not feel a personal human connection to you, they'll bypass you to hire someone less qualified who they simply feel more comfortable talking to. Spot on. Human connection wins every time.
Which leaves only 20% for property content. The actual listings, open houses, sold signs. Now, I have to push back on this pretty hard.
Go for it.
If real estate is literally the business of selling properties, and my income depends on selling the house I listed today, if I hide that in only 20% of my content, aren't I doing a massive disservice to my current seller who hired me to market their home?
It is a totally common concern, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, it makes sense. Property content, by definition, only provides value to a consumer who is actively looking to purchase a home in that specific neighborhood at that specific price point, right this exact second.
Okay, yeah, that is a very narrow audience.
It's highly exclusionary. The other 80%, the education and the trust content, that provides universal value. It captures the vast, untapped audience of future buyers and sellers.
Building that comfort over time. Right. When you overweight property content, you turn your profile into a sterile billboard, and people ignore billboards. When you use the 50-30-20 mix, you turn your profile into a valuable community resource.
Makes sense.
And honestly, a highly engaged community of followers is actually the best place to market that 20% property content when you do finally post it.
So it's a difference between acting like a desperate salesperson and positioning yourself as a trusted advisor.
Exactly.
And if you're listening to this and you're an accountant or, I don't know, a freelance graphic designer, a fitness coach, the exact same ratio applies to you.
Totally.
50% educating your audience on tax tips or design principles, 30% showing your process, and only 20% actually saying, "Hire me."
That's the formula.
But here is where reality hits. Knowing what to post is only half the battle. Doing it consistently while actually running a business, that is where the whole system just collapses for most people. Paint a picture for us of what this actually looks like for a busy professional.
Okay, imagine it is 7:00 p.m. on a Thursday. You have been driving around all day. You dealt with a really difficult negotiation. You are physically and mentally exhausted.
Sounds brutal.
It is. You sit in your car, stare at your phone, and suddenly realize you haven't posted anything in 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
And the crushing weight of needing to create content just hits you. You stare at a blank screen, your mind goes totally empty, and you just close the app and drive home. That is the reality of burnout.
And mathematically, that burnout is destroying their visibility, right? The sources highlight this fascinating point about the consistency equation.
Yes, the math is unforgiving.
Let's say you get super motivated after a seminar, you post every single day for 3 weeks, and then you get busy and completely vanish for 2 months. The algorithm essentially penalizes you for that.
Because both the machine algorithm and the human audience reward predictability. I mean, algorithms are designed for one purpose, to keep users on the app.
Right, they want engagement.
Exactly. They favor creators who consistently provide content because it makes the platform sticky. If you post sporadically and then disappear, the algorithm just stops serving your content to new feeds.
And people forget about you.
Human psychology works the exact same way. Accounts that disappear are forgotten. So 3 times a week is really the mathematical sweet spot. It is enough volume to maintain a real, active presence, but it's a pace you can actually sustain when your business inevitably gets chaotic.
But the roadblock isn't just finding the time. It is that 7:00 p.m. moment in the car. It is the blank page problem. An agent knows they need to post, but they have absolutely no idea what to write.
Yeah, the blank page is intimidating.
And this is where the AI ghostwriter, specifically Claude, comes into the picture as an operational fix.
But introducing AI introduces a major psychological hurdle for a lot of professionals.
Yeah.
The fear of authenticity.
Oh, for sure. Is it really me?
Exactly. The immediate thought is, if an artificial intelligence writes my post, am I deceiving my audience? We really need to reframe how we view the tool.
How so?
Well, authors, executives, politicians, they have used human ghostwriters for decades to articulate their ideas clearly. Using Claude is conceptually no different.
I look at it like hiring a master sous chef for a high-end restaurant.
Oh, I like that.
The AI sous chef is doing all the tedious, time-consuming prep work. It chops all the vegetables, measures out the spices, gets the cooking station perfectly organized. But you, the professional, are still the head chef.
Right, you're running the kitchen.
You create the recipe, you season the dish, you taste it to make sure it's right, and you plate it.
Exactly. The ideas, the local market knowledge, your specific tone, that still has to originate from you. Claude simply handles the mechanical friction of sentence construction.
It does the heavy lifting.
It takes a frustrating process that used to drain hours of your week and shrinks it down to, like, 15 minutes of review and editing. But the crucial detail, the mechanism that makes this actually work, is that the AI is entirely dependent on the context you provide.
Right. If you give bad instructions, the sous chef is just going to throw raw potatoes in a bowl and serve it.
Yes. If you sit down and prompt Claude with a generic command like, write an Instagram post about buying a house, you are going to get generic, robotic, emoji-filled garbage.
It's going to sound exactly like every other lazy account on the internet.
It will read like AI. It'll be terrible.
So what does a good prompt actually look like?
A good prompt requires deep context. You need to tell it who you are, who you're talking to, and what the ultimate goal is.
Can you give an example?
Sure. You tell Claude. I am a real estate agent in Austin, Texas, working primarily with first-time buyers ages 30 to 45. Write a warm, demystifying social media post about the 3 biggest misconceptions around down payments. Do not use industry jargon, keep the tone encouraging, and end it with an engaging question.
Wow.
What you get back from that highly specific prompt is practically magic. It sounds like you, because the foundational inputs were uniquely yours.
Okay, so we have the 50-30-20 strategy to build trust, and we have our AI sous chef completely solving the blank page problem. But where does this content actually live? Because I'm looking at the source materials breakdown of the Instagram ecosystem, and honestly, it feels a little overwhelming.
It can be a lot.
There are carousels, reels, stories, highlights. Why can't I just post a video reel every single day and be done with it? Everyone says video is king right now.
Because the platform is not just one monolithic room. It is an interconnected ecosystem, and you have to understand the specific psychological purpose of each format. They are not interchangeable.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's break those down. First up are carousels, the multi-image posts you swipe through. The material says these are perfect for that 50% educational content and offer incredible organic reach.
Yes.
How does that actually work behind the scenes?
It comes down to a metric called dwell time. As we mentioned, algorithms want to keep human eyes on the screen for as long as possible.
Right. Keep them scrolling.
Well, a single photo takes 2 seconds to look at. But a carousel with 5 slides of educational text naturally takes 30 or 40 seconds to read. Every single time a user swipes to the next slide, it proves to the algorithm that the content is actively holding human attention.
Ah, so the algorithm rewards that.
Exactly. It responds by pushing that post to more feeds, which increases your organic reach, meaning you reach people who do not follow you yet.
Next are Reels, the short-form video. The sources call this the ultimate tool for discovery.
Reels are designed specifically to be pushed out to non-followers. They are your digital billboard on the highway. But the mechanism for success is brutal.
How brutal.
You absolutely must have a visual or verbal hook in the first 2 to 3 seconds. If you don't, the user simply scrolls past and the algorithm buries the video.
2 seconds. That's no time at all.
It's ruthless.
Then we have stories. These are the casual 24-hour disappearing posts. If I am putting effort into content, why do I want it to vanish?
Because stories are not for discovering new clients. They're for deepening the relationship with the people who already follow you.
Oh, I see.
This is where you build a parasocial relationship, that fascinating psychological bond, where a follower begins to feel like they are your real-life friend, even though you have never actually met in person.
Right, because they see your daily life.
Exactly. Stories are unpolished.
Yeah.
It is you showing up with a coffee in your car, talking about a weird architectural detail you just saw at an inspection. It is the day-to-day texture that keeps you top of mind.
And finally, highlights. Those permanent little circles right below your bio.
Think of highlights as your permanent cover letter. When a new prospect discovers you through a reel and clicks on your profile, highlights serve as the curated menu they tap through to quickly understand who you are, what your process is, and what past clients say about you.
To see how all of these pieces, the strategy, the AI, the platform formats actually come together in the real world, the training material shares a deep dive into a case study about an agent named Sandra.
Sandra's trajectory perfectly illustrates this shift from invisible to visible. She works in a highly competitive suburban market, and for 2 years, she was doing what everyone else does.
The classified ads.
Yep. She posted sporadically. She only posted blurry photos of kitchens and sold signs, and she had maybe 300 followers. She was incredibly frustrated because she was a great agent in real life, but online, she was a digital ghost.
She was shouting her resume at the dinner party and wondering why no one wanted to talk to her.
Exactly. Then she implements this exact system. She completely stops posting just listings. She uses Claude to map out her 50-30-20 mix, giving it highly specific prompts about her suburban market.
Because she dials it in.
Right. And she commits rigidly to the math, 3 posts a week, using educational carousels and behind-the-scenes stories.
And what happens?
Well, within 90 days, she doubled her audience. But more importantly, we really need to separate vanity metrics from actual business results.
Vanity metrics being likes from your mom.
Yeah, getting 100 likes from your family members and other real estate agents, I mean, they feel good, but they don't pay the mortgage.
Right.
The real psychological shift for Sandra was that she started landing actual inbound leads buyers who explicitly told her on the first phone call that they felt like they already knew her simply because they had been quietly consuming her educational content for a month.
That is the whole ballgame. She manufactured trust at scale. And she didn't just change her content, she optimized the profile itself so she could actually capture those leads.
Very true.
Instead of a generic bio that just said Dallas Realtor, she changed it to a specific value proposition. She wrote, "I help first-time buyers in Dallas navigate the market without the stress."
Because specificity makes the consumer feel seen. When a nervous first-time buyer reads that, they instantly think, oh, she's talking directly to me.
She also swapped her cold corporate real estate logo for a clear, high-quality photo of her actual smiling face.
Such an easy but important fix.
She stopped using massive, useless hashtags with 50 million posts where her content would drown in 3 seconds and started targeting mid-sized local hashtags, like between 10,000 and 500,000 posts. That's where her actual ideal clients were browsing for neighborhood information.
Smart move.
Oh, and the golden rule she adopted. Never post a caption without a CTA, a call to action.
Failing to include a call to action is a critical point of failure for so many professionals.
Why is it so important?
Putting up a brilliant educational post without a call to action is like delivering an incredibly moving speech and then just turning around and walking off the stage in complete silence.
Wow, yeah, so awkward.
You have to explicitly tell the audience what to do next. Tell them to save the post for later, comment with their thoughts, or send you a direct message to get a specific guide. You have to guide their behavior.
Okay, I have to ask the ultimate insecurity question here, because I can hear someone listening to this right now thinking, look, this all sounds amazing for Sandra, but my day-to-day life is basically sitting in traffic, doing tedious paperwork, and waiting for emails to load. I honestly feel like I have absolutely nothing newsworthy or exciting to share on social media. I am profoundly boring.
I hear that all the time.
How does this strategy survive a mundane reality?
What's fascinating here is that insecurity stems from completely misunderstanding what the audience actually finds valuable. The source material refers to this concept as the knowledge gap.
The knowledge gap.
Yeah, what feels incredibly basic, boring, and mundane to a professional who does it every single day, like explaining how a mortgage pre-approval works or why an appraisal might come in low, is absolute gold to a nervous consumer who has never done it before.
It's because you're assuming your audience knows what you know.
Exactly. You are comparing your daily tasks to what is exciting within your own industry circles. You should be comparing your knowledge to what a terrified, uneducated consumer knows. The gap between those two things is enormous.
That makes a lot of sense.
The text actually suggests a brilliant, highly actionable prompt for Claude to solve this exact insecurity. You just open the AI and type, what are 20 questions a complete beginner would have about buying a home in today's market?
Oh, wow. That bypasses the blank page entirely.
It instantly generates a master list of the exact anxieties your clients are facing. If you simply take that list and answer just one of those questions a week in a carousel post, you suddenly have 5 solid months of highly valuable, trust-building educational content.
That's incredible.
Your daily expertise isn't boring. It is incredibly deeply useful to someone who lacks it.
That reframing is so powerful. It shifts the entire psychological burden from, I need to perform and be a highly entertaining influencer, to, I just need to be a helpful teacher.
Yes, exactly.
And when you let the AI sous chef handle the heavy lifting of formatting the lesson plan, the friction that causes burnout just completely disappears.
It lowers the barrier to entry so significantly that executing the math, that vital consistency of 3 times a week, finally becomes possible for a busy professional.
So let's sort of summarize the deep dive here. If you want to stop being a digital ghost and actually capture the modern consumer, you have to realize that social media is a long game.
It's a marathon.
Right. It is not a classified ad section for today's immediate transactions. It is a relationship engine designed to capture next year's clients. The winning formula is remarkably simple. Take your highly specific, local expertise, combine it with AI speed to eliminate the blank page problem, and fuel the entire system with a rigid consistency of posting 3 times a week using the 50-30-20 rule.
Yeah, that sums it up perfectly. And my final takeaway for everyone listening to this, whether you sell houses, balance books, design websites, whatever, is simply this. Release yourself from the pressure of needing to be a professional content creator.
Right.
That is not your actual job. You just need to be a helpful, reliable guide who consistently shows up in the digital spaces where your future clients are already desperately looking for answers. Let the AI tools do the tedious mechanical work so you have the energy to do the human work.
I love that. And it leads me to a final, slightly provocative thought I want to leave you, the listener, to mull over today. We have spent this deep dive talking about using AI to sound polished, to fix the grammar, and to elegantly structure our thoughts.
Sure.
But as artificial intelligence gets better and better at perfectly mimicking that flawless professional tone, as we reach a point where literally every agent and entrepreneur can generate the perfect logical answer in 3 seconds, will the professionals of the future actually need to lean even harder into their weirdest quirks, their unscripted mistakes, and their highly unautomatable human imperfections just to prove they are actually real?
Wow.
In a future of perfect digital resumes, maybe the most valuable, trust-building thing you could do at the dinner party is accidentally drop a napkin, laugh at yourself, and just be undeniably human. Think about it.
That is a really fascinating question to end on.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll see you next time.
This is The Brief on the AI Decoded podcast. AI Decoded is a weekly show that provides actionable tech advice, and today we are looking at their broadcasting footprint and upcoming programming. You know, keeping up with AI tools feels kind of like navigating this dense, totally unpredictable jungle, which is exactly why finding a reliable guide is absolutely crucial. First, where do you find that guide? Well, listeners can expect a new episode every single week, accessible across all major platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. So why